Second hot take, the federal budget coming back to the Australian shores. It was delivered on Tuesday night, the 19th of March. It's an annual ritual of the federal government. And this year it just happens to be in time to call a federal election, which will no doubt occur in the next couple of weeks because the federal election has to occur on or before the 21st of May. I want to make a general reflection on this. Over the course of the pandemic, it's actually true that Australia has proportionally increased our debt more than any other country in the world besides the US. This despite actually having a relatively mild experience of coronavirus, the pandemic. Yes, it was a crisis, but it's not a crisis that we've been generally feeling at a macro level financially. Unemployment is the lowest it has been for 13 years at 4%. So people have jobs. People are working. Supply chain issues mean that new stuff can't be produced fast enough to satiate our appetites to buy things. We've just had stimulus upon stimulus thrown at us for 2 years, such that spending actually increased during the pandemic. There was a lot of controversy about the over distribution of all of that stimulus, and I could go into that. I won't, I'll move on. And here we are throwing more money in the federal budget, just when we're on the other side as well. Cash payments going into the bank accounts of 10 million plus Australians. For what? Because petrol prices are up? Well, that happens, but also we're cutting the fuel excise in half anyway. Not to mention, the big problem that's probably coming down the line, most analysts are predicting, is inflation. And putting more money into the system is only going to make that problem worse. But of course, that problem is probably post-election, so it's not such a big deal. I know I'm becoming a voice crying in the wilderness on this because people simply don't think it matters anymore. But there is a simple rule in all things. If something can't continue forever, it won't. And our economic behaviour, at least in this country since 2008, cannot continue forever. And it won't. It won't. And either it will be corrected now by wise policy heads and interventions, or on a day in the future, it will correct itself, and that will come at great cost and amidst much pain and much chaos. And the behaviour to which I refer that can't continue forever is major spending blowouts at every whiff of crisis, which are never compensated for, never corrected, never repaired, ground is never regained before the next crisis comes to undermine things even more. Nothing is done to restore in the intervening periods. The crisis causes a further undermining of the financial position. This is the opposite of wisdom. I want to just look, for example, take Joseph from Genesis, the biblical Joseph. The hallmark of his God-given wisdom when he was Prime Minister was this, that he stored up what was available in the good times to weather the real and the serious and the cataclysmic crisis when it came. So much so that Egypt was among the only places in the world with supply to spare when they needed it most. That's wisdom. And here we are, really doing pretty well now, and we're still spending. Nobody talks about this problem anymore because people don't want to see out of the good feels of today. They don't want to see out of the good times they're experiencing here and now. They're not future-minded. They're not big picture-minded. They're just enjoying themselves in the minute. And we don't see out of the good things happening to critically judge the future or to see the bigger cost of these good feelings that come with these economic policies. I'm sure these cash splashes may win an election, but it'll do us no good in the much bigger scheme of things. It's an overall negative take on the behaviour in the budget this time around. Oh, it'll win an election because people don't think ahead. But this can't continue forever, and the government's shown no appetite to stop it. One positive thing to come out of the budget is this. 16,500 additional places were added to the refugee intake over the next 4 years, specifically for Afghan nationals fleeing the Taliban. So this is largely going to be persecuted minorities, including Christians. It's going to be people who have reason to flee the Taliban. They are vetted. It's quite a small number, actually, in light of the overall scheme of things and with no immigration in the last couple of years. But this is something that ACL lobbied for with a whole coalition of other faith groups. A great win for us and a success in terms of assisting with the crisis that continues to unfold in Afghanistan. That is the federal budget.